Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How's everyone doing? Are we all winning? Hey, Roel225, Nikki Stacks, Bonjour, Arnoot, whose name I've no doubt just butchered. Are you enjoying, well, XRP? Pascal BTC? You're gonna regret that name, mate. Just as I regret BTC Charlie. Hello, Ninja Lover. I mean, you're a fan, aren't you? Hello from BR, what, Brazil? Wow. Man is international. We're international now, fam. Sluis. Never actually known how to say your name. Is it Sluis? Sluis? Like Lewis, but slur? Must be. Had a position in XRP. Good man, or woman, or they. I won't assume your gender, obviously. We don't do any of that over here. Yes, I too have been long XRP for what has felt like a bajillion years. It's been literally just... You know, like the "Are you winning, son?" meme? It feels like that at the moment. Not that I'm not winning, it's just fucking boring. Like juice. Everyone says like... I can't even say that. Lewis? Is this now a CSGO 2 stream? It will be. We've got approximately 3 months before I retire from crypto. And, yeah. I hope in that kind of period that we can have a bull run. And that'll be kind of it forever. For me. But yeah, there's a good chance I just purely pivot to CSGO. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that another time. I'm in the classic, I'm not too old to make it in a competitive gaming industry, when actually I'm probably twice the age of half the contenders these days. But we'll fucking worry about that. So how's everyone feeling? Bullish? Bearish? Can I use my contacts to ask in Silico to add support for Bybit? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But thank you for asking. You don't need Terminal on Bybit, mate. You just need to use my ref link below. That's better than anything. You get lower fees, I get free income. See? And then we are one day closer to the pivot to CSGO 2 stream. Anyway. I always like to gauge sentiment at the start of the stream. How are we all feeling? Bullish, bearish, in between? Societal collapse is just around the corner. There's never going to be another good meme coin again. Where are we? Where are we emotionally, people? I want to be bearish. I stay bull, case pays. Because it pays lately. It's fair. In between and confused? Numb. Bullish to one... Is that 1 month or 1 minute? Because you're called Moonboy974, so I just presume you're an infinite Moonboy. Good morning, PK Critical. Use Teal Street, it's better than in Silico. I haven't actually used Teal Street, I've got to try it. Largely because a lot of people that I respect use it. So everyone's a bit in between. Some people want to be bearish, some people want to be bullish. No one really fucking knows. As usual. I like it when there's like max conviction in the chat and everyone is like an uber bull or an uber bear. Because it gives me people to counter trade. No, I'm joking. Perma bull to 1 million? Yeah, but 1 million what? $1 million? 1 million, it's kind of better to reference it in like loaves of bread, I think. In these conditions. Does Teal Street work? I don't know, mate. But Teal Street, I think Teal Street works with Bybit. Yeah, I don't know what UT is. Don't know what it's on about. Which way is it going to be, up or down? Well, I'll tell you my thought process. My thought process is pretty simple. As it always is. It's been very dull the last few days rotationally. Today has actually been one of the better rotation days. We've had like pretty weak ETH BTC up until, like I said, today basically, which is basically the first day I've traded in a little while because it's just been so shit. You know, if you look at high time frame like ETH BTC, which I always use as like a little proxy for, you know, risk on attitude or asset what about risk on attitude and a proxy, I guess, for should you be in BTC, should you be in alts, or should you just be in cash? And remember that cash is a position at all times, right? So, you know, for me, ETH BTC essentially losing this level down here and just cascading down to, you know, what is quite, you know, higher time frame, quite pivotal, I would say. I don't know why my VPDO isn't loading. It's just being shite. But, you know, people would argue that that's a deviation. Like for me, a deviation needs to be quite quick. You know, it needs to be sort of like that. In terms of your range, it needs to be a quick reaction to any form of deviation. This is just, you know, this is consolidation. This is almost a range down here. What it does next, I don't know, but we have had a really nice day from this, which I longed XRP, and now I'm still pretty cautious in terms of alt rotations, in terms of wider risk appetite, all that kind of wonderful stuff. And I always say to people that I'm quite happy missing the first rotation. I'd rather miss this, and I would rather ETH BTC kind of break out of, like, if I just delete all of this shit, right? Doesn't really matter how you look at it or where you draw the lines specifically. You know, it's not necessary. This isn't a cred TA stream. This is a Charlie, draw some lines, try and make some sense of it, stream, right? So this, for me, is just range. Break above it, hold, great. I can start risk on alts again. I can spend a bit more time at the desk trading rotations because, you know, this rotation has been reasonably good. Don't get me wrong, it's not your plus 10, plus 15, plus 20% that we see, but this could be the start of a, you know, risk on rotation after we've had quite a strong sell-off. You know, if you want it really fucking simple, just literally look at it like this. And this is kind of how my brain computes all of this shit, right? Literally that. And if we're going to go up, the confirmation for me is close and hold above here on a reasonable time frame. Hourly isn't too bad, but I'd prefer it on something like the 4 hour, right? And I'd also want to see risk on for various different alts in Spaghetti. And I'd want to start seeing a bit of a migration in terms of returns. So, you know, we're currently, I'm just going to turn that down a little bit because it's blowing my ears out. You know, 5%, it's kind of fuck all, really. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly beta to get excited about. It's not going to be... These aren't the trades where, you know, you're risking massive amounts of your net worth, or at least they're not for me anyway. I would rather be in a very highly trending and high risk on environment and just longing shit that, you know, that's a really bad drawing. But just longing shit that looks like this and is just, you know, grinding up against levels and is having really good low time frame rotations and just trying to catch that next leg up. What is wrong with me today? So yeah, I mean, I'm just chilling for the most part, really. I'm building some stuff, playing around with indicators, layouts, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. ETH BTC being, you know, pretty risk off. And when we have had moves on BTC, so let me just go to a chart that may have some form of annotation on it. When we have had moves on BTC, no, it's been a Bitcoin-led rally, and alts typically have underperformed. So, I would rather be trading BTC over most alts, even though I've longed XRP today and played that on a rotational basis. But even Bitcoin isn't looking particularly wonderful. If you start removing all of my little drawings, I think there's kind of two big arguments that play out either way. And I think the trade that I'm looking for, I will talk you through. So let's move that up a little bit. I was going to say it's actually there, but it's just taking forever and a day to calculate. There we go. So, it's undeniable that we've broken out of this, all of this consolidation, right? Months and months and months of consolidation. And this is the reaction that we've got. And even this pullback and this buy up, really, really strong. So for me, it's not a trend I want to fade. I don't want to be fading this, especially not just yet. Do you know what I mean? I would rather have faded something like this, which I think a lot of people were looking out for. The divergence was, reasonable across there, but the thing that didn't sell it to me was the start of it back here and all of this basically. So, I didn't take the short, don't really want to. Prefer playing alongside anyway. And I think the one scenario that I'm interested in playing is if we get a sell-off down here and we get some form of divergence into this area, and front run this, level that everyone is looking at, which is about 25k, then this would be where I'm looking to pick up some spot for that next leg up. And I think if we get that, it's going to be a very much Bitcoin-led rally. So for me, it's real simple. Pull back on BTC. Could take some lower time frame trades around, like, let's just delete all this shit, shall we? And we know that there's a high up there and a low somewhere down here, and just treat this as a range. So treat this little bit here as literally a range. And this is the kind of thing that I do when I'm, bored, low time frame. But I don't really have an edge range trading BTC, to be honest with you. I have an edge trading alts and alt rotations, but yeah, not this. So the environment kind of sucks for me at the moment. I just have to sit on my laurels a little bit, and that's fine. Some people are much better at trading this environment than me, and one of the things that I've learned over the course of however many years I've been doing this, since 2018, Christ, it's a long time, is you kind of need to know when there's conditions that suit you and where you have an edge and where you just don't. I can trade this, but I'll be squeezing money out of the market. It'll be quite difficult for me, to be honest. I'm actually building a couple of different things after revamping all my indicators. Isn't Bitcoin right now the perfect rounding top pattern? I don't even know what a rounding top pattern is. Do you just mean this? Do you just mean like reverse peen? To we gonna eat our dog food? PvPing is wow, it's not building, Charles. Come on. Yeah, Studio Gaming. I like your thought process. No, I haven't been actually. Barely played well. But yes, I mean, you could argue that this is vaguely Head and Shoulder-esque, I suppose, but, I think most of those patterns are bullshit. That's a good question, Flux T. So that's a very good question. I mean, for me, it's basically anything that looks similar to ETH-BTC. So there's also, hints in this section of my my watch list. Those patterns get front-run. Yeah, I don't know, it's not about front running and all that bullshit, it's about whether it plays out or not. IMO, and it's, yeah, if you've traded, I'm sure there's somebody out there. Actually, I listened to an interview, random tangent, listened to an interview with a very successful trader who only traded triangles, which, absolutely bizarre, but, it just kind of proves the thought process that if you stick to one thing, that you can kind of master it. So, one of the age-old sayings is, You know, you're not looking kind of for the perfect system, you're looking for mastery of one system, and sticking to one thing. Doesn't matter whether it's EMAs, price action, momentum, beta, spaghetti, order flow, yada yada yada. It doesn't matter. You know when it works, you know when it suits you. Magus Trade has subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 3 months. Well, now I feel bad because I didn't sub to you. Rip. Ripperino. Thank you, Magus. You can now use my poorly formatted emojis because I did it. And I'm a boomer. So if we get any BTC breakout, which coins would you have your eye on? Well, I'll ask you guys that question, because one of the good ways to teach... Oh my goodness, Mr. Pickle Guy. 5 subs. What a legend. Well, thank you, Mr. Pickle Guy. That is very kind of you. He's generous with the pickles and the pounds, it would seem. Magus T weapon subs. Bear's about to get wrecked. Nah, Mr. Pickle's on it, mate. Mr. Pickle. Thank you very much. So, like, I'll ask you guys, what coins do you think look reasonably good just glancing down this? For you guys, girls, and everything. JMax. Is JMax even on my list? Or are you just shilling your bags? Either way, I respect it. X. Don't even get me started on X. Unironically, I told everyone in the stream to go ask Magus to chart Hex for months, and Hex is one of the top performers of 2023, which is a fucking travesty. Although it does tell me that there's plenty of people's money to take still left in the market, so... You longed XRP, so? Yeah, I did. Shib. Maybe, maybe not. XRP at range high, time to send. XRP is in a beautiful spot. We'll talk about XRP in a minute. But yeah, a couple of you are kind of on the right lines, I think. So, you know, one of the ways to gauge it is looking at what is hot, what is catching a bid right now. You are being given clues. The market is telling you every minute of every day what people are bidding, what is strong, what is not. It is telling you what is trash. Your job is to interpret that information and come up with trade thesis as a result. See what happens, subs. My guy. You know, we've had a pretty reasonable bounce on ETHBTC. If I can actually click on the right fucking chart. There we go. And so, you know, what's reacting well to that? Well, you've got stuff like LDO, which is basically mimicking ETHBTC, but actually from a beta perspective and from a relative strength, it's actually one of the best performing today that I've got on my list, and it is in fact the best. So I logged the second best. Rip me. Market is like my wife, always telling me something but I'm busy checking your memes on Twitter, so I love it. And you know, it's probably a little bit late to just yeet in on this unless you are really going for a full breakout trader, but sort of mentality. But you know, if you start getting a breakout, could be tempted to yeet into it. It's interesting. I mean, personally, I'm not going to, because I'm sat in a position, and every time I say personally I'm not going to do it, you can almost guarantee that, you know, it's just going to go to infinity, or because I'm not on board basically. But LDO is definitely on my radar for a rotation. But like contextually, it's quite difficult, because if we get a pullback and a dump, you know, you're looking at BTC and you are looking at your, I don't know, helmet head pattern or whatever we called it in chat, and really, you know, if we lose this range, then it's probably going to be lights out for bulls and all that kind of wonderful stuff for the short term. So it's quite difficult. if Bitcoin starts going up, I expect that alts will die in terms of beta again, and ETH-BTC will likely die as well. So, longing Bitcoin would be the play. So it's quite tricky for me personally. And we're kind of always like that, but it just means that like my position at the moment, like with XRP, is I've got the Bitcoin chart open and I'm looking at these lows, and if we start even teetering on the way down here, I'm just going to exit my position. I can't remember what I'm long from. I'm not long from anything particularly great. 4845. Yeah, so like literally was down this morning. Oh, we down here building it. Yeah, in this price action down here. Wow, that's redacted. Yeah, so I'm long from like in here. So yeah, look at strength, and I think these are going to be your candidates. And these ones highlighted, so CFX and Arby. CFX is actually I just took from Magus's stream, to be honest with you. If you guys aren't following Trader Magus on Twitch, or Magus Trade, I should say, then you should check him out, because I stole CFX from him. So you can watch his stream and explain why CFX is potentially good. How did you plot all the alts? Here you go, sir. Or madam. But yeah, these are... yeah, I coloured them all in. So what I had to do is I had to get this. I had to look at all the charts and do this manually. And then I had to change the colours. And then I had to write the labels out. Took me a while. Really took me a while. But no, just look for these. And then look for setups on the actual charts themselves. What I'm trying to do... I've got to be careful not to dox any of this shit. Is systemize it a little bit more. And I've been playing around with this a lot this week. But we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But like my XRP long, for example, it's not doing unreasonably well. But if we get down to like here, I'm just going to cut it and just treat it as like a low time frame trade. This isn't like the generational swing position. If you actually look at high time frame XRP, actually, it doesn't look particularly wonderful. You've just got this massive pivot here, essentially. So let's go to a higher time frame. And let's delete my entry and everything off. If you were being objective, you would say that let's go 2 weeks, fuck it. You would say that really, for it to be bullish, it needs to kind of flip that. Please send Bitcoin to 32k, or headshot me or not. I mean, that feels a bit aggressive. I'm not sure me and my $10 that I have in crypto at the moment is going to send it. I'll tell you what. I'll max long it now. There we go. Done. That's all my capital deployed right there in that candle. Sorry. Didn't even touch the sides. That's what she said. CPS told you to max long because weekly breakout, blah blah blah. 9-month range, blah blah blah. I like the amount of blah blah blah. I mean, I agree with the sentiment of the point, which is, it's a fairly large breakout, but can you ignore the dong pattern that we're going to... There's probably a shape, isn't there? The classic. Look at that. Yes. Can you ignore the classic arc pattern? It's a classic. Oh no, it's over. The tits up shape. Yeah, it's all gone tits up. That's a great one, actually. But definitely not rushing to Twitter to post that. There we go. We do a little shit posting over here. But no, like, the rationale is completely fair. Like, we had we had a huge, very high time frame momentum, like, move up. And again, like, if you just look at it from a momentum perspective, very strong move, short, sharp pullback, and then this was quite a strong sell-off, but we've generally held above the 50 for quite a while on RSI. And if you need to know like how RSI is calculated, go and look all that up and stuff. But generally over 50 good, under 50 bad, and it is just a reflection of price action. But still, for me, the level to pay attention to is really that 25k. Like, most coins, most assets, if we are going to get real bullish momentum, we will not close below this line, which obviously is a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because by definition, it comes back into the range, and that is bad. But for me, it just says be bullish above, be bearish below. And it's really fucking simple. And when people argue about having, does technical analysis work and all that kind of stuff, it's like, well, technical analysis doesn't work on a raw standalone basis. No, I don't think it does. I don't think you can take every single, triangle pattern and try and do the same thing and go, right, here's my entry, here's my exit, right? I don't think that works in every single scenario. But I think if you understand the context of the market you're trading in, that setup in and of itself becomes far, more EV. So, yeah. I don't know, I'm ranting about technical analysis again. But don't disagree with the sentiment at all. And, yeah. I would say, always short the cock and balls. Well, yeah. I mean, I just prefer longing shitcoins, longing high beta momentum, because it's much easier, it's much more forgiving. When you get in the swing of it, it's much fucking easier. Like, I was longing Litecoin last week, boys. Litecoin. The lightest of coins. What day was CPI on? Can't remember where. It's kind of all blurred into one. It's down here somewhere, I think. Yeah, getting chopped up in this little bit here. A long Litecoin. What the fuck? Is this 2017? Litecoin? But it's been reasonably high beta lately. He says. Yeah, it was Wednesday the 22nd. You can see it. Okay, lost most of its oomph back here. But this is what I was talking about in terms of, the balance of strong alts and weak alts in terms of relative returns. Like, Bitcoin is down 1.6%, and alts are just generally shitting the bed with only a couple outperforming. Yeah, halving meme, digital silver. It is actually a reasonable asset in terms of practical use. If any of you have actually used Litecoin, it's pretty good to transfer funds between places. Or at least it was. It is literally one of the lightest of coins. Strange that TRX is in there given everything's going on, but hey, I don't make the rules. So hopefully my view on BTC is pretty clear. Hopefully my view on ETH is pretty clear, or at least ETH BTC, because I'm not really trading ETH. And by not really, I mean I've got spot bags of ETH, just from various bits of crap. But yeah, I'm not actively trading it. It's in a pretty, again, for me, it's in a pretty clear place to have a bias, or to have a, well, if it closes below here, then we're fucked. And if it just starts moving up here, which is a reasonable place for it to start shifting some of that momentum to the upside, then great, we're going to have a party. And it's likely that we'll come to this high and probably break through it. So I don't think it's dumb to be long on ETH. It's kind of the last stand for bulls in terms of if we come back into here, this kind of 1700, 1650 level, then you know, it's not going to be fun. I talked about this I don't know why my VRVP is being so fucking slow today. I talked about this like a void before. I think if we trade into that, it just goes from one side of it and teleports to the other. Can you explain how AO works? Yeah, I can explain very simply. There's a short moving indicator, so an EMA, and a slow moving one. And all that is doing is representing the difference between the two and flattening them out. So when you have, let's see if I've got it. So if you have, I think it's the 5 and 31 off the top of my head. I could be wrong. I've got a very in-depth presentation on it in the Paragon group. So 5 cross, yeah, there you go. So all it's doing is it's taking the gap between these two EMAs here, as you can see, and plotting them as though the 0 is the bottom of that gap. Does that make sense? So here, you've got that cross, which is that cross. You've got that cross, which is that cross. And that's all it's doing. So when you see something like this, so when you see momentum is declining, like that, but price is kind of still grinding up, you can assert that the slower moving, the faster moving EMA is starting to die down, which means the momentum is dying at a slower pace, or a faster pace, sorry, than the slow moving EMA. And then you are working your way towards effectively an EMA cross. So the wonderful thing that I like about some traders who use AO that say they hate EMAs, they are fucking using EMAs. So yeah, that's it. That's all the AO is. It's not a complicated indicator or anything like that. Again, the nuances, as with any indicator, are reasonably complicated. But yeah, there's no magic juju. Just delete all that shit, and that's what it is. It was basically voodoo. Now, if you want voodoo, you need to see the stuff that Magus does. So all the delta and absorption shit is, yeah, that's voodoo to me. I just look at fucking price. What's price doing? And then I look at some bits that contextualize price, like this, and just say, you know, that's really annoying me, apologies. You know, instead of having to calculate it manually, like what's happening. And obviously, beta. Because I mean, look, if you'd have told me last week that XRP was going to be the best trade in the market in terms of like coins that are on my radar or I'm interested in, I would have told you where to go. And I would have said, I'm taking a week off then. I came here for the hopium, you just smacked me down. I think it's a good place to be cautious. I think if you're bullish, then it's, you know, it's so clear what you do. So clear. You literally have like great invalidation for pretty much everything. like look at that. That's one line. Bullish above, bearish below. Max long, done. Not even that. And the same with a metric fuck ton of volts. Like just play low time frame breakouts. Like, if you are super bullish, then do that. I'm not even saying buy the dip. I'm saying don't. If you're bullish, then, you know, start trend following. But yeah, I am not personally. I would rather miss the start of a move. The way that I had it explained before, or the way that I saw it explained before, was actually Altcoin Psycho on Cryptid Twitter, and he said, I would rather be late to the right party than arrive early at the wrong one. And I always thought that was really good, because I always used to get FOMO about missing the first, you know, there'll be someone on Twitter that did this, right? You know there's someone on Twitter that went, right? yeah, that's it. Right, we've tapped in a couple of times. I'm going to take that long. Off we go. I'm going to target this high or some shit like that, right? For me, personally, in the context that we were trading in over the last few days, like, I don't want to take that trade. Even though it's technically a good trade that worked out. And it's because I'm quite happy missing the lower time frame range plays on alts for the most part. And the reason I longed XRP is because XRP doesn't look like that. You know, look at the two charts, tell me what's different. Why am I logging this and not this? Do you see what I mean? So hopefully you guys are seeing like a part of my trading process that I don't, I guess, always talk about. I'm not trading, I'm following you for the memes. Yeah, I mean, I mostly just shitpost on Twitter because it's fucking painful watching idiots just criticize your trades, and, you know, you don't get every trade right, but somehow people expect you to. And yeah, shitpost engagement is much better. It's also much lower effort. And the way I trade, it's really hard for me to be like, right, I've done this. Right, here's this. Because I don't trade like this as often as I should, probably. You know, like the XRP trade earlier, it was, let's just get rid of that for a second. XRP trade this morning was literally, we're in here, it's about 10 o'clock. So yeah, I was in this cluster here, and I was literally just building a position. And that was it. And then as soon as we broke out to the upside, I was just watching spaghetti and just trend following it, essentially. As soon as we broke into a range up here, I've just held through. Literally drew a couple of lines and just left it. I just drew levels where, you know, I'd be quite happy to close it. And it was off this morning that I got my first fill. And then, yeah, like I don't want to be doing that as I'm doing it and then posting it on Twitter. Like, and I'm on, you know, low time frame charts. I'm not doing 4-hour swing trades. Although I genuinely think XRP is setting up for either a face ripper or a nice short opportunity. And I'm going to keep playing the long side until I'm wrong. But I did post this. I did post this chart actually, or this view, on Exo's feed, because I know that he. What tends to happen is, I long half of these coins up, and then I start seeing him talk about like OP or something like that, and then I know it's time for me to start thinking about taking some profit off the table. But yeah, if we get a reasonable breakout, like XRP is probably just gonna fucking fly. So, you know, I wouldn't be too surprised to see it. So I'm gonna long till I'm wrong. You know, bear in mind that on good long rotations, I'll be making, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10%. And when I cut, it's usually sort of in the 1 to 2% absolute maximum. So, staircase rumblings, yes, indeed. So yeah, plenty of potential for XRP to run, and I'm going to generally favour that, unless of course we lose the range on BTC and we lose ETH BTC even more. But there's equally a short opportunity if we do something like that. So very, very simple plans, very simple thought process. But if you look, you know, low time frame, it also feeds into one of my classic patterns, which you're probably all bored of me drawing. But the old parabola meme. you know, we actually did a bit of parabola meme in the Paragon, didn't we, boys? When we were on the Arbitrum 1 minute chart. If US equities dump, crypto likely going lower. Yeah, that's true. It's typically been correlated, but it's not obviously as much in the last. My thoughts on ETH BTC, motherfucker. Were you even listening at the start? I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, like, literally, I just see it as a like low time frame range at the moment. I mean, higher time frame, I've deleted all my shit. But TLDR, we can just redraw it, just a bit messy. You know, it was high time frame rangy with a few levels, and we had this level going to go through there-ish. Let's call it that. That's kind of it. But my concern was when we started, like when we tried to push above here and instantly rejected, and then we've obviously started the downtrend and sold off. Like, that was so savage, and all our rotations were just gone. Like, any form of momentum, like this, for example, I know we're on a 2-hour chart, but whatever, just got absolutely wiped out. You know, very weak impulses, very weak. You know, basically paid to be bearish on ETH BTC, and now we're at either. You know, some people thought this was a deviation. I personally think the deviation should do this and not do this. But if we break out of this range here and we close above like this level, 0.64, let's call it 0.65. If we close above there, then I can start thinking about, okay, well, maybe we're going to get another like mini alt window where it is reasonably good EV to start longing alts on rotations again. And we've actually had a good hint today that might happen. So this, you know, today's rotation, actually really good. Today's ETH BTC move, really good. But we are at quite a pivotal point for that. So yes, I will just see it as 2 lines, that and that. And if we push above, up, great. Roger, in the same camp. Thanks, Dave. Yep, that's it. Obviously needs to draw the parabola all the way up to 569 or 589. Yeah, I know. Look, now I need to adjust my TA to fit my bias. Whoop. That's the beautiful thing about parabolas, boys. Keep adjusting. Keep adjusting. Knight's giving it the slightly embarrassed face. Thoughts on Bluebird? Is this a joke? Or is this an actual coin? Bluebird? Wait, I've been living in a fucking cave. The fuck is this? You never understood this parabolic thing? It's the classic, to be honest. So the meme parabola is, it's just the notion of like how quickly price accelerates in terms of move, right? And when you get up to this point, this is kind of the classic, well, everyone thinks it's the future of finance, and then what happens is you break that parabola, you get a lower high, and then that's where you short it to fucking zero. And that is basically the Wall Street cheat sheet, if you've ever seen that. But like, you get that quite a lot in crypto, and a lot of people will, like they did on Aptos, they will try and short here, they will try and short here, they will try and be heroes, and really, like for me, unless you get something like this, it's fucking stupid to just short it, right? You're just a fucking idiot if you're shorting into a literal uptrend like that. ETH BTC breaking out. Ah, let's go! Woo! Fucking have that. This is where we find deviation. Deviation, brev. Let's see if I've got that actually. Let's see if we can meme it into reality. Yes. Hang on, I'll put it louder for you guys.
Deviation, brev. Deviation, brev.
I jest, of course. This is exactly what I want. This is lovely. Let's fucking go. We're back. Fucking XRP! Yes! Let's go! Infinity! Big man tings, bruv. I could have just lied to you and said, look, listen to this impression that I can do. Big man ting, yeah? Fucking look at that, XRP. I never thought I'd be so happy that XRP is pumping. Good God. What the fuck have I become? XRP, Charlie. But yeah, this is going to be reasonably interesting. Quick maths. Well, someone said hello from Brazil. I'm actually quite intrigued. Where are people from? I know I should be talking about charts and this, but where are people from in the chat? I'm always intrigued. Man's international now, isn't it? Florida. You're from my mum? Hey, brother. Nice try, Fed. Flux T has got me. Got me by the balls. Italy, Ohio, the West, Amsterdam, London, North Carolina, Mozambique. Wow. French, Canada, Czechia, Dubai. Man, this is genuinely international. I'm mildly impressed. Anus. Yeah, that makes sense. Spain. Oh, nice. How international. So someone asked earlier what I thought of DYDX. Good coin. Good coin. It's actually something I talked about in the group, which is there's a type of trade which happens, and I think it's all over Twitter, so it's certainly not source, but you know, Spaghetti will give you the market's latest narrative without having to ask for it. And if you, yeah, it's a cultured stream. It's genuinely a cultured stream. And when we had the BNB FUD the other day, like, there's a typical trade that happens during centralized exchange FUD. And I'm sure there's a couple of you in the chat that can work it out. Anyone want to enlighten us? Or am I going to have to do everything? Dex Pamp. Yes, Flux Day. Well done. There's a migration typically away from centralized exchange coins, DYDX, GMX, etc. Yeah, exactly. Which is why you see, you know, it's a pretty standard trade. And whenever there was like FTX FUD, whenever there was, which obviously turned out not to be FUD, it turned out to be quite reasonable. But you'll watch DYDX, GMX, there was Perp, and something else. I'm trying to think of the other one. Strong DEX narrative anyway. They just catch a bid after the initial sell-off, and that's a very important point. That you know, typically what happens is everything dies like this. If something is catching a bid and is basically staying stable relative to everything else, woo, yes, that was what I was thinking of. Well done. Yeah, they tend to be very good longs. You can literally see it. You can see it happening, you know, in real time, like post sell-off. So what have we got? CFX, XRP, and ARB. We'll talk about ARB actually. As you know, I'm in an XRP position, and we'll see what happens with that. So ARB, check mask brev. I'll tell you what, since you put brev in there, Oh, what the fuck is this? I think my 7-year-old has been in the PC. No, I'm joking. That's me. I mean, I was looking at Mask, and I was literally looking at it like this from a 4-hour perspective. Nothing particularly exciting. Unironically, on Mask, let's have a peep on the beta. Yeah, it's not too bad. Unironically, I'd rather save it for a top long. Literally, long for a breakout here somewhere. But that's me personally. If I was in a position from like these lows, then I'd be tempted to try and trend follow it. But yeah, I'm not in a position. And there goes my chair. Good God. I need to buy a new chair. Fucking hell. No wonder I need to see a chiropractor. I'm getting old. Mac has gifted a tier 1 sub. They've given 32 gift subs in the channel. Jesus Christ. Man is flexing. Magus is just pumping up the community. What a ledge. But yeah, no, it is a very strong... Do you work well in long? What? What the fuck are they? Pop friend. Oh, okay. So yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't particularly want to jump in on this, but Mask has been a generally good coin to trade. High beta, high momentum, and yeah, I would watch for this personally. Locked in profit yesterday, time to give it away. What a good man. What a good man. I'm going to give away the $5 that's attached to my XRP long. Yeah, it's getting a bit spicy, isn't it? It's nice. So yeah, there we go. Start the stream, something happened. That's one of the first times, which we like. We like. But if we, my thought process now is, if we push above and then close back below, that is bearish for me, especially if we get, a fairly strong rotation down. So it's actually, that classic time to pay attention meme. Use that sub money to put towards a new chair, lad. Yeah, unironically, I do need to do that. And I've asked about 3 times on Twitter for chair recommendations. Charlie in a shitty chair, Magus, I will send you a picture of my chair. Honestly, I think you will fall off yours. I genuinely. Just got the Herman Mini. Nice. Just get the Herman Mini. Look. There's something vomit-inducing about spending $1,000 on a chair. I might even put it in your currency. Not to offend you. I would rather spend £100 a week going to see my chiropractor than spending £1,000 on a chair. But we can talk about how I'm a tight-fisted motherfucker another time. Not gonna make it. Yeah. I'll do a hot tub stream. That's how I can fund the chair. Or I'll convince my wife to. Probably get more subs that way. I don't know. This guy's more Dutch. Excellent. Right, where were we? Don't really want to talk about Doge. The lightest of coins. Not looking awful. It's not like I don't want to spend a lot. I can spend a lot, but I really struggle with spending money, to be honest with you. I probably spend a couple of £1,000 on myself every year, and that's it. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll be part of a hostile takeover of a company, and then I'll just take a chair out of it. I'll spend $2 million acquiring a company, and then I'll just take one of their office chairs. Yeah, so being in an XRP long right now, reasonably happy. Just going to see how it reacts to this 5135-ish level. How many years to be a good shitposter and trader? I mean, I'm still waiting for that, mate. But I've been, I've been doing this since, I've been in crypto since 2017, like August 2017, I think it was. And, I didn't start trading until, I think it was March-ish 2018. Basically, after I massively fucked it up, to be honest with you. Which I think is most people's, kind of experience. Was it March? Yeah, well, I think it was around here. Oh, it's February. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I cashed out like every bit of crypto I had down here somewhere and just went, right, I need to start again, completely rewind, and just, if I've got, let's say it's £1,000, I've got £1,000 in crypto, in Dragon Coin, in Bitcoin and ETH, no, everything gone. Right, everything to the bank account, absolutely everything, and we're starting again. And we're just going to put it in, and we're going to have a plan, and we're going to buy some things, we're going to trade some things, we're going to invest in some things, and yeah, basically that was the change from being an idiot and riding this up and having a lot of fun along the way. Like, I cashed out 10x what I put in, like somewhere up here. I don't think it was that high, actually. I think it was more like down here, but yeah, it was quite close to the top. It wasn't too bad, and then I rode like what was then 33x, I think, of what I put in, like left, and pretty much down minus 60%. Obviously, this is BTC, but there were alts that I cashed out along the way. There was various bits and pieces. Good game stream. Cheers, Magus. Thank you for all of your contributions, as always. Not only all the subs, but me stealing one of the altcoins in your list from your stream earlier. So yeah, if you guys are subbed to me or you are following me on Twitch, make sure you check out Magus Trade as well. Very different trading styles. He's far more technical and more capable at explaining things like VWAPs, and he's far more articulate than I am. But yeah, check him out. It's always good when I'm on fire and Magus isn't. It's usually the other way around, like, as well. So when I'm sat here doing fuck all and going, oh, I made 2% on XRP, Magus will be like, yeah, I just made 20% doing this. I'm like, oh, great. Although I think we both had fun in January and February in particular. They were fucking mad months. Yeah, that was a kind of weird answer to your question, which is, I don't know. I don't know that there is a set length of time. I think it depends on your personality. I think it depends on how seriously you take things. I think it depends on whether you're doing things alone or as part of a group. I think it depends on whether you're learning from people. I think it depends on how quickly you review your own trades, how quickly you are to adapt to market conditions, how good you are at researching, how busy your life is outside of crypto, how much money you need from it, how much money you want from it, how much money you have to pay, out each month, so your commitment. So like, if I was sat here and I had to pay £10,000 a month, and I was like, right, well, I'm working a full-time job that's doing this, and I want to be, a pro trader on the 1 minute chart, it's just not going to fucking happen, right? Just absolutely level with you. That's not going to happen. Like, I can't see a way for you to work through that. But if you tell me that I want to be a good swing trader, trading 4-hour to daily time frames, I've got, a small allocation of, let's say £1,000 of my average expenses of £5,000, and I want to just learn the principles, and I think I can, maybe dedicate 4 hours a week to it or something like that, then fine. Like, it's all dependent on your personal circumstances, including your wealth, your potential lack of wealth, your time that you can commit, how disciplined you are as a trader or aren't, and yeah, lots and lots of things. And luck. There's a big element of luck as well, right? If you decided to start trading, like somebody I know down here, and you were basically a complete long-only redacted, well, you had a fucking blast. Right? You are now the greatest trader on earth. Because your annual returns are in excess of like 90% of first-year traders. Like, by an absolute country fucking mile. He streams in 1440p. I don't know how that works, mate, but I'm glad you love it, Mr. Pickle. One of my non-boomer things. So yeah, I think it's context, you know. And if you can do it over a long period of time when there are periods like this, and this, and this, you know, I'll never forget. I'll never forget the Matic short I took up here. Never forget it. Probably the best trade of my career. Just because I rode it both ways. And because it was such a difference from the 2017, 2018 version of me. Yeah, it was a big answer. But it just showed that I could ride both ways instead of just being a long-only idiot. But yeah, right. Are there any other questions? Any other things that people want to look at? I think I've done a reasonably good job of explaining my thesis in terms of context, my outlook. Very enjoyable personality. Can you, if I give you my wife's contact details, can you say that to her? Please relax, Bobo. Oh, I'm joking. I think she still likes me. Thanks for calling the bottom on Bitcoin, mate. Absolute peak. Yeah, this was actually me deploying my $10. You're going to be fucking livid in about 10 minutes when I go and close my XRP long, aren't you? And just send it all back down. But no, thank you all for being here. Thank you to Magus in particular and Mr. Pickle Guy for the subs. I promise when I reach 100 subscribers, I will buy myself a new chair so it's less squeaky. I listen to that. Like, that is... It's bad, isn't it? But yes, thank you all for turning up. I will be able to bet $20. No, KFC only. Oh, I'm allowed to spend on KFC, am I? Yeah. My wife went fucking mental. I sent her the picture and I said, got some work for you to do when you get home. Maybe that's why she doesn't like me. And then I don't know if you guys read it, but I spat bits of the bone out back into the bucket, and I completely forgot about that. And my wife gave it to my stepdad, like my mum's partner. I'm not sure I should call him stepdad or whatever. The next day, because she didn't want to waste it, and we were going away. Which he then found the spat out bones at the bottom of the bucket. Which is just, one, I can't believe she gave it to him, and two, I can't believe I did that and forgot about it. But there you go. There's a random story about the real life of Charlie that you did not need to know. The cleaning charts occasionally helps. Yeah, massively. So there's two things that massively help. One, cleaning it. Two, inverting it. So think about like being objective in your bias formation. So you look at this. How would you interpret this? Like as a weekly chart. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you interpret that? And if you find yourself saying different answers between, flipping from an inverse chart to a normal non-inverse chart, then you may need to think about the objectivity of your system, which is why I like a lot of people who use EMAs, if I'm completely honest, because it's such a simple system, such a simple way of looking at things. I'm just going, I'm allowed to be bullish as long as this EMA is over this. And then contextually, you can start saying, well, if the RSI is, between the 70 and the 30 levels, I'm not really interested. Or maybe I am. Krillin, a real Chad? IRL friend? Oh, that's nice. It's nice that, people in crypto actually mix with other real people. But no, I like Krillin a lot. He's a good chap. And that's what I mean, is like he's got a really, not simple system. Well, I don't know his system to be clear, but it's, you know, he said one of his posts, he said that he stuck a note on his wall that was just like trust the system, and I think it might be like a 9 or 21 EMA or something like that, and like that kind of simple bias and that kind of simple process means that I could just go, here you go, do this, if this then that, really fucking simple. The only thing I don't like about EMAs, and the reason that I think that people need a little bit more, is because if that was true and an EMA system was just purely profitable, you would just code a bot and you would never walk away. Oh, sorry, you would just walk away and you would never look at crypto ever again, because your simple EMA strategy would just be outperforming the entire market. You know, where you need the expertise and the experience is knowing when to trade it. So like if you are sat in a range, high time frame range, and you're getting EMA crosses, maybe can't be asked with that, towards range high or down at range low, like, yeah, maybe that's where you do it, but like a bit of context and the wider environment that you're operating in to take those crosses, because you know that you're going to get chopped up in these, if that makes sense, especially if you've had X amount of time in said range. But yeah, I'm waffling now. Yeah, cheers, Vacno. We try and mix a little bit of sauce with a little bit of love, with a little bit of memes. Friend your friend, yeah. Leroy the shit of XRP on 100x. Yeah, obviously sign up with my Bybit ref before you do it, and then DM me with your spoils, and I will collect fees from you indefinitely. And that is my pension. Thank you very much for contributing. So yeah, we memed XRP into reality, put the bottom in on ETH BTC, spent my last $10 on Bitcoin. Wonderful. I think that's a good place to leave it. Actually no, there was one other question about Arbitrum, and I did want to actually talk about Arbitrum. It was on my list of notes. Yes, I will play Arbitrum if the opportunity presents itself. I actually think that what tends to happen with these is a little bit strange, so let me explain the thought process that I have on these. That everyone is looking at them and everyone wants to take a directional bet on ARB. So I might have said Aptos. I occasionally be like full redacted on that. Everyone wants to take a directional bet. You end up with essentially very liquid books and very little movement, because people are trying to directionally bet the shit out of it, and it unironically contracts volatility. So what I kind of think will happen is you'll get some form of consolidation down along here, or maybe even down here, and it'll just sort of slow bleed out, and then you'll get a pretty what's the word? Good lord, why is that jumped out of my... You'll get a pretty aggressive like move out, like an ignition type move out, and that will be the start of Aptos becoming a very, very... Aptos, see, I did it again. Fuck me, what was wrong with me? Arbitrum becoming a very, very strong in-play coin. I don't think this is it, but I could be wrong, so, you know, take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah, I refer to it as like ignition. So like ignition of a strong trend. And like if you go back to like LDO, like, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, you got like this and this. It's like this candle here. Like, ignore this one, obviously, that was more than fucking ignition. But it's just that absolute like propulsion away from this huge range and consolidation, and it's just, you know, the start of a very strong trending move. So when you talk about deviations, you have a little blip and then we go under. You know, that is a very strong move, even though it, you know, came back and retested it slowly. Yeah, and then did exactly the same again. Aptos is okay, yeah, they're all shitcoins. Yeah, well, I did fairly well on the ARB airdrop, you know. Got thousands and thousands of dollars for free for doing fuck all, really, let's be honest. It's pretty mad when you think about it. You know, go and see my friends who are teachers and listen to them talk about their work week, and they go, oh, you know, it's fucking terrible, blah blah blah, but I did just get a pay rise for £100 extra a month, and I'm like, fuck me, I just got given thousands and thousands of dollars of free internet money for clicking a couple of buttons at some point in time across several wallets. And you're like, yeah, I'm really happy for you. Kind of puts things in perspective. And don't get me wrong, I am genuinely happy for them, obviously. But it's just, we kind of forget the strange world that we operate in. And certainly take it for granted quite a lot of the time, I think. But maybe that's just me. Anyway, enough philosophy. So yeah, that's kind of my my thought process on Aptos. Or Arbitrum, which I seem to have fucking dyslexia for. Bitter truth. Yeah, it is. And I just think that one of the things that crypto does to a lot of people is it desensitizes you to large numbers. Especially like when you're doing well, or you're seeing people on Twitter doing really well. There's a lot of people doing the Rollbit stuff. 500x leverage. I've just turned $100 into 2,000. And it's like, okay, where are the losses? And everyone jumps in as I go. I expect it's harder than it looks. But fair play, To each their own. I do the same on shitcoins. But also fun when you lose someone's monthly salary in one trade. Yeah, I lost, I put it in, in one trade, I lost years of my first salary, of my first job. And I was like, fuck me, this is such a weird way, it's such a good way to look at it. But, yeah, it's very weird when you correlate it in that kind of respect. Crypto disconnecting you from finances and money just as internet disconnects people from reality. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I see I sleep. I like that very much. It's very true. I know someone who got 600,000 Arbitrum, which, even now is, well, basically $700,000. $700,000 for setting up a load of wallets and shifting money through it, and he did some clever stuff as well, I think, using GMX. Yep. They don't work for them, nope. I don't know too much about what he did, but he's been talking about it for a long time, and yes, he did very well out of it, so fair play. But, even if that's taxed at what, 50%, let's say, you've got $350,000, which is, in the UK, it's almost a reasonable 3-bedroom house, I guess. I don't know, property market's probably still fucking stupid, but, imagine that. Hey honey, how are you going to afford a house? Well, I'll just sling $1,000 through a few wallets. And off we go. I think I can officially flex my XRP PNL on twitter.com, which tells you that I'm closing the position. It's always the time to do it when you're PNL flexing. And also when beta is getting shot to shit. Yeah, there are some gigabrains out there that just make you say, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, it's true. I mean, I literally started, I started some airdrop wallets for that a while ago, and I think I did 6 as part of that airdrop process before I got fucking bored. And then I had 2 that I actually traded on Arbitrum with, so, I did okay. But there was part of me that was like, maybe I shouldn't have played that game of CS or that game of World of Warcraft and, carried it on. But que sera. Yes, thank you all for tuning in to the wonderful words of Charlie. And hope I've filled you with some wisdom. It's going to be a very interesting close in the next couple of hours. I think I'm going to be watching ETHBTC with bated breath and hoping that this isn't, you know, something like that. Was I maining a paladin? No, I played Ellie Shaman in the retail and help us in drawing a range. I'm sure you can manage. VRVP, this indicator, is quite handy as well. Just so that when you focus in, you can really sort of see the edges where no volume has been transacted. So if you've got loads of volume being transacted here and you've got this sticking out like that, and you can kind of see that this, you know, there's no volume there. And if you're drawing the range high up here, you're an idiot. If you're drawing it down here, you know, where basically volume just disappears and you've got this, then you're doing it right. In my mind anyway. There are technical ways to draw it, and it should always be on the candle closes and this, that, and the other. But if you want that and you want the technical description, I would suggest you watch CryptoGred's videos for free. They are on YouTube somewhere, and they are very helpful. But I don't do things by the book because I think it's slightly bollocks, and I don't think it matters particularly whether you're on the 10-minute chart or the 1 hour. You know, if you want to look at this area, you can use a combination of this. You can go into a bit more detail with the stuff that Magus teaches if you really want to. And all I need to know is that price has or hasn't travelled here, whether it's taken stops or not. And really, then it's just about momentum and various other bits and pieces. So yeah, not too interested in being technically perfect at drawing it every single time. But you are probably just being sarcastic, so I will leave you on those points. And like I said, I'll be watching ETHBTC, yeah, with a passion, because it will dictate probably the next few days of my life. Thank you all. If you want to hear the wonderful words of Michael Saylor, hit follow on the stream. I'm going to put out a new video, hopefully this week, on the YouTube. I don't know why the I'm going to put a video out on YouTube around altcoin beta. So this is what I talk about every single stream, but it's going to be a bit more in depth, and I've got a couple of slides left to do, and then I've got to record it. So it's going to be an updated version of this, and it's going to be some of the key things that I look for in terms of new opportunities, in terms of narratives, in terms of finding coins to go on it, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. Now you can just be, you know, lazy and take this and look at it and do whatever you want yourself. But I've got a video on there already, but it is 2 years out of date, so it probably needs updating, especially given the fact that, well, I've kind of developed a few different things with it since. But yeah, I'll do the cringe thing of like, sub, and I'll do a bathtub stream and all that kind of wonderful stuff, and we'll go from there. I'm going to leave you with the BTC Charlie theme tune, I think, because we haven't had that for a while, have we? And I will see you all on the twitter.com.
Charlie with his linguini charting. He loses sometimes, but hardly. He's BTC Charlie. But now he's GBP Charlie. It doesn't matter what he's charting. His trading is tough, but it's not all that bad with Charlie. He's got memes in the morning and more in the evening. It's Charlie. And when trading gets hard and support starts to lean, search Charlie.